Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for choosing the magnificent MongoSlade for all of your wrestling content and information. Like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get into the video. Here we go again. Same old shit, dog. Just a different day. All right. The Naomi deserves better hashtag has found. There's a saying that movements can exist without God. They can't exist without the devil. And apparently Booker T just decided he was going to become the devil. All right, so at the end of the day, man, championships are not won with hashtags. And that's basically what Booker T is saying. But for people who might not know, or people who just want my analyses, this is what Booker T said on the subject of Naomi deserves a chance. And this is from Fightful. This is a transcription from Fightful. But he said this on his podcast. Naomi deserves a chance. They can go to hell with the hashtags. I'm tired of hearing about them. Don't nobody deserve a chance. You have to earn a chance and earn your spot on the roster. This is not some kind of movement just to pull somebody up just because. I hate to say this because I like Naomi. But as far as the business goes, you get it on your own merit. There is no buddy system. Well, such and such has a buddy, that's why they're doing it. That might be true, but life is not fair. Sometimes you have to make your own breaks and rise to the occasion when no one else thought you could. It may not happen overnight. No one expected me to become 6-time champ, but my persistence of going out there and performing better than all those suckers in the locker room, and they knew it, and the fans saw something different. That's why I say hashtag Naomi deserves better. I don't think it serves her any purpose. People advocating for her in that way, the way that needs to put out there is her advocating for herself and performing at a high level. When you do that, you cannot be denied. No one will ever say you were given anything. If it happened tomorrow, someone blessed Naomi with a world championship. Trust me, it would not feel like she did it on her own. I never would have wanted the world title if it was given to me that way. Naomi is perhaps more athletic than every other female in that locker room. But psychology and working are two different things. If I had my hands on her for 1 month, Naomi would look at the business a totally different way. And then Naomi gave him a thumbs up, which seems very sarcastic. And then, of course, all of her stands, which black female Twitter and black female wrestling Twitter, it's all the same, deluged Booker T and pretty much everything else, including, and then what really killed me wasn't even the stands, the people who got Naomi as their avatar on Twitter or Naomi fan accounts. I'm not surprised they acted that way. I'm surprised by a lot of the soy-filled white journalists who were like, huh, Booker T, I can't believe he said that. Like, wasn't he's such a and then one of their black friends come along, he's like, he's a coon. Yeah, I mean, like, totally. Like, he should be advocating for Naomi, not trying to tear her down. Where did he tear her down? He only said that the hashtag is not going to work. And it's not going to work. You don't win championships by hashtag. Now, what he said was a thin, if people were paying attention, it was a critique of her work. Basically, that she has athletics, but not much else. And that is something that you would get from somebody on Booker T's level. Now, should he have said that on the podcast and maybe not said that to her personally? We can have a conversation about that. But at the same time, he is trying to tell her what the missing piece is. And that's a very important piece. But another thing here is that I keep hitting my head on all these situations here because people play favorites, and there's this thing where all of a sudden Naomi's like the only black woman on the roster, right? Like when I made my previous video about Naomi deserves better, people were actually saying to me, well, Sasha Banks is black, yeah, but she's not as black. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, why is it that somebody got to be dark as an oil slick before them they can be considered black? Why can't you just be like, you're right, Sasha Banks is black, and full stop, instead of Sasha Banks is black, comma, or Sasha Banks is black, but what the fuck? She's fucking black. It is what it is. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, is she mixed or something? I don't know. Shit, maybe. But is that important? When has that ever been important? It's kind of crazy. It's like it goes back to The Rock, where the Rock skin is a little too light, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's Samoan. Like, what? When did we start picking random Negroes and saying your skin's too light, you're not black? It's like all of this is to drum up the sympathy so that you can play the race card. Because I did bring up Sasha Banks in a way to negate the racial part of the argument. So what they have to do is either go around the racial argument or devalue Sasha Banks. So what they said is Sasha Banks is not really black because her skin is like 4 shades lighter than Naomi's. And, I'm surprised they didn't mention that Sasha Banks wears a wig or that her hair is blue or something like that. And Naomi's running around with, the big puffy natural. Look, I like Naomi, but she's not perfect. Okay? There are other things that people do better than her. She is, again, a great athlete. I think she has a good attitude, but she doesn't have the mic skills. And yeah, I mean, I saw one particular commentator, and he said, how can Naomi possibly get over when they keep giving her stupid stuff like karaoke to do? And then some guy posted Booker T playing with a lightsaber, like, as if he had it easy, right? He had to talk with an accent, though. Like, he had to do the King Booker with the accent. And he had to, he made it fun because he flipped it back and forth with the hood stuff and with the proper English. And it was funny. It was good. It was entertaining stuff. So, in other words, people are saying, like, you couldn't make it. People get garbage segments all the time. Give you another one. Bailey. People were really upset about the Bailey This Is Your Life segment, which is probably one of the worst segments ever. About as bad as the karaoke segment. But I don't understand, like, what was so bad about the karaoke segment, considering other people sing? Like, other people, like The Rock sings all the time. Elias sings all the time. Is it somehow bad because we just decided it was bad? Nobody could tell me why the karaoke segment was that bad, even though I didn't like it, because I think it was a waste of time, because all this stuff happens out of nowhere. So I really wasn't a fan of it. But Naomi Twitter, or, black female Twitter, decided they was going to go after Booker T for not unequivocally supporting Naomi, even though the only thing he really said is the hashtag is not going to work and it's bullshit. And I agree. It's bullshit. It's the wrong way to do things. She needs to improve. And people are like, well, she's a 10-year vet. Just because you've been doing something for 10 years don't mean you're any good at it. Somebody, like, if you've been digging ditches for 10 years, it's like, great, you dig the ditch for 10 years. You didn't add any value for most of this time. Like, Naomi has been on the roster for a long time, sure. But how long has she really been adding any value? Okay, now you can say, well, she just hasn't been pushed. And I can agree with that, especially after her 2017 push. She really didn't get much else. And I will agree. She probably does deserve a second or a good run. But how are we going to fit that in when we're telling other stories, right? You have to take into account that she's not in a vacuum. There are other stories that need to be developed. There are other people who also need to be developed. Just like Naomi deserves a chance, there are other people who are taking advantage of the opportunities given to them, like a Bailey and a Sasha Banks. They are taking full advantage of all the TV time they're being given. Now, I believe they're being given too much, but they're taking full advantage of it. They're out there going, having some of the best segments on the shows. What can you do? I don't know. And he said that she needs to advocate for herself. In other words, she needs to be more vocal on making sure that she's factored into the weekly shows and things like that. And people are like, well, they send her home and they do this, they do that. It's like, yeah, maybe, you know, things ain't going to be perfect. It ain't never going to be perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect scenario. Okay. There are going to be people who just get it and people who don't get it. And if Naomi ends up like, you know, just the lady version of Ricochet, then it is what it is. You know, I like Naomi, big fan. I want to see Naomi do well. I want to see her do well because I want to see her do well, not because she's a black woman, but because I've seen her progression over the years. And I think that she deserves that punctuation mark, that she's, you know, on that level with everybody else. Somebody also said to me that um, because of the amount of time she's had in the ring, that she's on the level of all these. Again, just because she's been digging ditches for a long time doesn't make her an expert. Okay, it doesn't matter. The people that I've said, a lot of those people are either prodigies at wrestling, or in Asuka's case, she's been doing it even longer than Naomi, because Asuka's almost 40. So like a lot of this stuff is we need to level up. You know, Naomi has to get up there, and I think that she has the potential. Maybe if she works with certain people, and she probably needs to work with a lot of people who are better than her more often. You know, and I think that would probably help. If she keep wrestling people that are around her same level, she'll never really improve. She needs to wrestle people who are higher than her, and she needs to wrestle those people more regularly. But in doing so, she'd probably lose more often. But like she lost to Bayley in Saudi Arabia. You know, I thought she was going to win that match, if we're going to be honest. I don't see why she didn't win that match. But, yeah, I mean, I get it. I get that a lot of people like Naomi, but she's got to get it out the mud. It's not going to be handed to her in the boardroom. She's got to make it undeniable, you know? And that's how Becky Lynch did it. You know, some people get the time. Like Bayley got way too much time to get over. I would have put the plug on Bayley a long time ago, if we're being honest. And we probably wouldn't even got to the part where Bayley actually started getting good. Because I'd have pulled the plug on her last year. Okay? She'd probably be the one doing a lot of jobs if I had the book, you know? But that's just kind of how it is. Some people saw that potential. I didn't see it. And some people see the potential in Naomi, and other people don't see it. You just have to, you know, you can't hashtag people to death, and you can't be in people's Twitter replies, hashtagging them to death, thinking that they're going to change their mind. You harassing them is not going to change their mind. They ain't going to do shit but block you. So what good is he going to do? But let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.